Hi guys. So this is the added reading portion that my mom wanted me to kind of bring in for you guys for the spirituality podcast. This is going to be posted on the Instagram, so you guys will be able to have access to that before our actual podcast comes out this Friday at 12 a.m. You guys will have access to that early in the morning, and when you wake up, or if you're at a late night at work and you're at those graveyard hours, the podcast will be available for you guys then. So I'm going to have you guys pick 1 through 3 as far as your card goes, focusing your energy on which one calls to you. Pick whichever card that you feel most inclined, that really resonates. And I'm going to read you a message based off of that card. So this deck is called the Herbal Healing Deck by Sarah Baldwin. The cards were illustrated by Ashley Burkamp. So I will be glad to read you guys these cards as they were pulled. So the first card, if you guys chose number 1, this card is for you. The first card that we have here is the Clover, which is flow, which really resonates and matches the energy. So this is the message that is for you if you focused in on the first card. It is a flower card. What's awesome about this deck is that it's broken down into 3 different types of focuses. You have flower, tree, and root. And this flower is the clover. So it says, let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. Different varieties of clover grow in abundance and in temperate climates throughout the world. With the flowers of red clover, they're most often used in herbal medicine. Other species have similar properties. Most clovers contain coumarins, compounds that act as blood thinners. For example, the white sweet clover is high in coumarins and can be used for treating bruises. Generally, clover increases the flow within the body. The red clover removes congestion not only of the blood, but also saliva, tear ducts, glands that become hardened after infection. So for you guys that are feeling that lack of saliva, you have the tear ducts that need to be cleared out, your glands are hardened after an infection, red clover is really good for you. Clover comes into your life to herald a time of movement, change, and flow. Sometimes called shamrocks, clovers, especially a 4-leafed clover, are associated with luck. In fact, each of the 4 leaves stands for a theme: faith, hope, love, and luck. Drawing clover is a sign for a pleasant turn of events and good fortune to come your way. This may come in a number of forms, such as synchronicity, an unexpected windfall, a new opportunity, or a lucky flow of events. Red clover is often used as a fertility aid for women. Interestingly, clover also increases the fertility of soil. Whereas most plants use the soil's nutrients, clover can grow as a nitrogen fixer to improve the quality of soil. It's interesting. So be sure to stay open to receiving that the good will come your way. That way you can bring that flow in for yourself. Another way to attract blessings is to appreciate the good that is currently in your life. We were talking about that in the podcast. It's that gratitude action. So I highly suggest you practice your gratitude abundance to maintain and manifest that abundance into your reality. That's pretty cool. It's here to give you hope. If you feel run through the ringer of life lately, the spirit of clover asks you to hold steady to your faith. Trust that the movement in your life is guiding you down a better path. So that's for you guys for number 1. Beautiful card. Thank you, Clover. We're going to move on to the second card. If you pulled the second card, this card is for you. We pulled Oak, which is strength. It has the eternity symbol. It's the strongest tree. It has an acorn. I'm going to read the oak. I love this deck. It was a new discovery. Strength. For those of you that pulled number 2, stay committed to your decisions, but stay flexible in your approach. The oak tree has a long history of use in North American as well as European herbal medicine. The tree's bark is very astringent and makes a good remedy for a variety of ailments, including bleeding, hemorrhaging, piles, diarrhea, and infection. A good provider tree, the oak makes up about 50% of the hardwood lumber in U.S. Native Americans, early settlers, and modern back-to-land folks have eaten acorns as nourishment form of sustenance. And oak bark promotes healthy teeth and bones. According to Matthew Wood, it can actually recalcify bones in cases of osteoporosis and help prevent or manage dental cavities. Interesting. Oak is a picture of strength and integrity, providing us of a solid structure. This plant spirit can be thought of as king of trees. The oak represents the masculine qualities of endurance, willpower, and determination. In some Native American traditions, it symbolizes the center of the medicine wheel. Some practitioners plant an oak in the center of the medicine wheel garden in recognition of the life force that makes a tiny acorn grow into a giant tree. Drawing the oak card can indicate a period where you are very strong, reliable, and responsible. The mighty oak does not come without warning, however. When the traits of strength and endurance become too rigid, a person can be pushed to the breaking point. Possessing the commitment to keep working for the future is a great thing, but if one works tirelessly towards goals without pause, the buildup of stress and tension can cause health problems to ensue. Herbalists used oak as a remedy for nervous breakdown, alcoholism, and a whole host of physical symptoms caused by stress during the 20th century, 19th and 20th century. If you begin to see signs of breakdown in your life, or if you feel like you've already reached the breaking point, this is a sign to relax and slow down. The flower essence of oak is used with a strong personality, with a temperament of strength. Let go and let God. Balance the goal-oriented, driven masculine side with that feminine, which allows rather than forces things to happen. Oh, it's an allower rather than a forcer. Very cool. I feel like the overall here is if you feel like you need strength, you're going to receive it at this time. Utilize that strength towards your goals and don't overcomplicate, overstress, or work yourself too hard. Lastly, for those of you that pulled our third card, this is going to be an indicator of what you need to hear at this time. You guys ended up pulling the black cohosh, which has the darkness energy. So we're going to read what that is. It says, the wound is the place where the light enters you. Native to forests of eastern U.S., the black cohosh is a stately plant with knee-high foliage and long, thin stems holding a unicorn horn like raceme and flowers at eye level. Walking into a black cohosh patch in bloom is magical. The heavy scent of the flowers envelop you, blocking out distractions from the outside world. You feel as though you've wandered into a timeless space where mysterious creatures may peek from behind the seams of reality at any moment. The root of this plant is used for treating muscle spasms and cramps, as well as rheumatic and fibromyalgic pain. Black cohosh is especially useful for feminine reproductive conditions like PMS, childbirth, or postpartum recovery. The plant also eases depression of a deep, dark, and brooding nature. Energetically, black cohosh heals damage done to a feminine side of our being. Even the name of the plant brings to mind darkness and depth. Regardless of your gender, black cohosh represents the yin or feminine side of your being. Whatever the subject of your inquiry, some form of dark fog is shrouding this aspect of your life. Very likely you could feel this tangibly. It is possible that you experience a sense of suffocation or a dark night of the soul. Know that this is a necessary part of your intention and initiation at this time. Whether it's the recent or distant past, your feminine side has been wounded, and now is the time for healing. Though our feminine side has that CNC, through that energy, we give birth to new projects, ideas, or circumstances. While giving birth is an inherently difficult and painful process, the reward is new life. Just as black cohosh facilitates labor and birth, it signifies that your current pain is moving you toward a new way of living. Take comfort that this plant brings the healing energy of unicorns, pure and gentle, yet penetrating. At this time, it is important for you to look at how you've been wounded. If this is not immediately clear, search amongst your relationships, past and present. Examine the relationships with females in your life, especially your mother and other family members. You might also study the placement of the moon in your astrological chart for further illumination. To look at your astrology chart for free, you guys can go to alab.com. So ALABE.com, alab. And you guys can check out your chart. You have to know your birth time, exact birth time, date, and location of birth. So if abuse is currently an issue, or if you need help releasing past abuse, seek the aid of a shaman or counselor or psychiatrist or psychologist. Herbalist Matthew Wood names black cohosh the whiplash remedy because the plant has an affinity for treating this condition. American Indians considered the black cohosh a snake medicine used to treat snake bites. In both cases, the damage or poison is taken into the system from an outside blow. This is symbolic of a kind of damage you're healing from, severe and perhaps violent, the pain of which can linger for a long time if not treated properly. The snake and the spine are both symbolic of Kundalini energy, the potent force within us, all that empowers our creativity. The snake also represents our reptilian nature, the instinctual part of ourselves that operates through fear and anger. Do not shy away from these emotions now, for allowing yourself to feel them will foster their release from your system. You are experiencing a deep healing that will affect your creative capacity to a large degree. You're experiencing a deep healing that will affect your creative capacity and will become keener, allowing you to avoid future blows. In time, with the proper care, the venom will leave your system and your creative life will catch fire. Above all, black cohosh coaches you to hang in there. Drawing this card is a signal that the universe loves you. There is also a timeless spiritual aspect of you, your higher self, that loves you unconditionally. So please take a moment to feel this in your heart. These forces understand your pain completely, and from their vantage point, they see how it will benefit you in the long run. Ask your higher self to send you the energy needed to complete this healing process and move into a healthy, creative purity and light. That was our amazing herbal healing book. Again, this deck is by Sarah Baldwin and the art is by Ashley Verkamp. This is a beautiful, amazing little setup for just kind of a universal pull, especially with the podcast. I love doing these quick 3 pulls so that you could see the transition of the energy. Go with the flow, be in strength, and move through darkness. This is a healing time for everybody. This is a time where you can really expand your nature and connect deeper with yourself on so many different levels. I hope that you guys found this reading very insightful and helpful, and I can't wait for you guys to listen to the amazing podcast I posted. I want you to really take in what I said. If you need to repeat what was mentioned in the reading, go ahead and go back. If you want to get a reading with me in person, you can actually book a session with me via my website at crystalprophecy.live. You can also get in touch with me through Instagram. If you're checking me out on the Instagram platform, my podcast is the Spirituality Podcast, spirituality underscore podcast. And the spirituality is actually spelled like spiritual T-E-A. I hope that you guys enjoyed this amazing insight. And if you have more questions, you can DM me at Crystal Prophecy on Instagram. I will see you guys there. Thank you so much.